Should Alabama fans be worried?
Yes. Yes, you should. I don't think USF is that good of a football team. And they were running with y'all every play on every position. Y'all were getting beat up front. USF was beating Alabama up front. And right now, if you think that, you're going to play Georgia. You're going to play these real dogs that are coming in. Look, Alabama's going to get better. We all know that. Milroe's a dog. Ryan Williams is like 14. I hear it every time he catches a pass. But right now, from a penalty standpoint, Alabama's disaster. Disaster. I believe there's a total of 24 penalties in that football game. That can't happen against good teams. Cannon DeVore, right now that offense has got to figure it out. The defense is going to be fine. There's too much talent on that side. They're going to be okay. But that offense still has to figure it out to me. And I think a lot of it is Milroe needs to use his feet. He needs to create that who he is. He's not just a drop back passer. He needs to be in the run game. He needs to be in every facet of this offense. He should be the key piece going forward.
David, the score in this game is really deceptive. If you watched it up until, the last – God, Bama's only up 12, I think, with like 4 minutes to go, something like that, and then they kind of poured it on, almost covered. Here's what I saw. Blaine, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. I think South Florida's got guys that can run, and they're really physical at the point of attack. Like, South Florida's got good players. Here's the problem. They can't throw the ball on offense.
Yeah.
If South Florida could throw the ball – if Byron Brown – was just an average passer of the football, South Florida probably wins that game. Because here's what I saw South Florida do on defense. They ran a lot of man free, buddy. A lot of cover one. It was, we're going to put one guy in the sky. We think our guys can guard your guys at wide receiver. And Alabama wasn't getting great separation, right? Nick Sheridan was finding ways to get guys out of the backfield, whether it's a wheel route or whatever. And then they would wait to see if the running back would go out in a route. And then you'd have that fifth guy insert for South Florida. And that was the guy that was kind of making the plays once Milroe made that first guy miss. But the other thing is, and I know Alabama's, got some dominoes moving up front with Proctor being hurt, whatever. You got locked up by man free on the outside, and you were getting beat in just straight one-on-one pass rush. Like, they were just giving it to you bull rush. You got the swim, right? You got the rip. You even got a couple spins. And if South Florida, who we got a lot of respect for, right? If South Florida can rush for over 200 yards against you when you know they can't throw, all right? When you know they can't throw, I am very, very concerned about how Alabama – you can't – again, we know they have good players. Nobody's doubting whether Alabama has good players. But if you're going to get locked up one-on-one on the outside, you're going to get beat one-on-one on the inside on the offensive line, you're going to have a lot of penalties, and you're going to turn it over the way that Alabama's turning the ball over, you are playing with fire at a very, very close rate. So it's a win. You beat them 42-16. I know Alabama struggled last year, David, with penalties, even under Nick Saban. But are you kind of worried about the wide receiver position and guys not being able to beat South Florida's corners and even safeties when they're in the slot until really the end of that game when South Florida was gassed?
No Alabama fan is thrilled with that game yesterday. That was anyone's ball game at the beginning of the fourth. Seriously. I mean, either team could have won that football game. I know the score looks deceptive, like you said. No Alabama fan feels good about it, but to me, it's just more about South Florida. I thought the 30.5 spread throughout the week was just egregious. Like, this is a solid football team. We saw them play Alabama tight a year ago with Nick Saban as the head coach. I understand it was completely different circumstances. I understand that Jalen Milroe hadn't established himself as the starting quarterback yet. I just feel like, how many times does Golish have to do this at South Florida and really punch above his weight before we start to say, like, man, no, this says more about them? And, like, honestly, like, Jake, my question to you is he going to get a big Power 5 job at the end of this season?
Oh, wait, I think 100%. And he's going to be able to go get that quarterback that can throw the ball. Blaine, last year when Bama went down to South Florida and struggled, they had a lacrosse player at quarterback, right? And then they were able to fix it. This wasn't the case. It was on the road. It was raining. There was a weather delay. You had a guy from Not Another Teen Movie at quarterback. That wasn't this case. This was the first game Alabama had, right, at Nick Saban Field against a South Florida team that was very one-dimensional on offense, and you had Jalen Milroe, right, your Heisman hopeful at quarterback. I think they're going to beat Wisconsin, but if I'm Wisconsin right now, I kind of see the plan. I kind of understand if I'm Luke Fickell. I mean, Alabama goes, and it's weird to say this, Dave, because we always complain about the shotgun at the goal line, but Alabama goes under center, which they hadn't really done the whole game, at the end to try and put him away and fumble the ball. Jalen Milroe does.
You see, Nick was angry in the booth, boys, on that.
Oh,
one.
I know your boy. Yeah. Your former roommate there. But no, it was an ugly, sloppy performance from a team that you were hoping, if you're an Alabama fan, to say, you know what, that organization, that efficient function that is Nick Saban carried over to Kalen DeBoer. You just didn't see it. But listen, I'd rather be 2-0 and complaining about it than 1-1 because you can't complete a slant against Cal.
I just can't. It blows my mind. Jalen Milroe had 2 rushing yards.
He got like 4 touchdowns called back.
That can't happen.
No,
that
Bombi.
That cannot happen.
Gumby.
That cannot happen at all. And how good? The reason the spread was 30.5 because they can't pass.
Yeah.
They can't throw the ball. They're gonna run it. That's all they got, or maybe a hitch. That's it.
Hey, Blaine, why would South Florida kick that field goal at the end like that? Dude, you got to go for that. You're down 8.
You're down 8, though. But, I mean, I kind of thought about this, and I was watching this live. Like, I mean, touchdown wins you the game now.
Well,
you don't have to worry about getting that and the 2. You have 7 minutes left to go in the 4th. You have 2 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. I get it.
Well, bro, if you go for that, you're at the 3.5. Like, Alabama struggled on offense to move the ball. You're probably going to get good field position back because they're going to run it. You've been handling the run, but if he goes for it and they don't get it, that's a cover. That's a 30.5 cover.
Yeah, I know.
Goalies cost a lot of people a lot of money. Maybe won a lot of people a lot of money on that one.